Get this started. All right, good. So you got most people can hear. If you can't hear, maybe it's something with your computer. If it becomes an issue, just hit me up in the chat, and we'll know from there. Okay. So.
Picture.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Bring it in a little bit.
I combed my hair for these people.
But you ain't let me do mine. How my hair looking? What's straight out of me? Get my one too. Pimping. All right. So, oh wait, did I hit record? Oh, I did. Okay. All right. So I want to discuss a topic with you guys that is, it's a really good topic. And it's a good topic because sometimes you know things, but you need to hear them from different perspectives or from different voices to re-engage or relearn or re-fall in love with or just rethink about it. So that's my mission with this particular statement. So I want to know if you know, here's a question to yourselves, and naturally you can't answer because I muted you all, but you can answer up here in your mind.
I like chat.
Oh, yeah, chat too. Just, type it in the doobly-doo. What I want to know is, what do you want, right? Why are you here, right? You're not here because, well, in part, a very small portion of why you're here is because there was a message posted, or there was an event created, or there was conversation that said, hey, there's going to be there's a video at this time on this day, right? That's a very tiny portion. There's a more grander thing that speaks to why you are here, right? What is it that you're looking to accomplish? So I'll give you a very simple kind of example, right? So some people will say, I'm here because I want to make, an extra $357 a month. And that number is so specific because that's how much it's going to cost daycare, right? Some people will say, hey, I'm here because, some people will say, hey, I'm here because I want an extra $200 because I want to have freedom. Or some people will say, I'm here because I'm tired of my current existence and I want something greater. I want it to be better, right? So with that being said, think about why you're here and what you want, right? Whether that's a dollar amount, whether that is a tangible item like you want to buy a new car, whether it's some peace of mind that you can pay a bill.
But I'm going to actually answer Corey with your responses.
Oh, you haven't pulled up?
I had him do that just a moment ago.
Okay.
So we're going to answer Corey with your responses, right? Because y'all did do a really good job.
Yeah, and then run those to me, and then I can kind of speak to those.
So I'm going to highlight some of you guys that told us what you want, right? And I got some that's coming through here. Latoya says she wants to buy a car, pay off debt, build her savings account.
Okay, so let's just stop right there, right? Sure. So let's pick on Latoya, because those are three things that I'm quite sure somebody can at least cohesion with, or whatever. I can't think of the word. So buy a house, savings account, and what was the other thing?
Pay off debt.
Pay off debt. Okay, so when you know what it is that you want, that's step one, right? Because you'll be surprised. A lot of people don't know what the hell they want, right? They just go through life living, or go through life existing rather, not even living, just existing and just being pushed from one point to the next, right? Just ferried back and forth. Work, home, pay a bill, get paid, pay a bill, get paid, pay a bill, eat, sleep, wake up, okay? So once you figured out exactly what it is that you're looking to change, right? That means you've gotten to a point to where you are fed up, and you are ready to do something about it, right? Because sometimes if you're not ready to do anything about it, you just won't do nothing about it. Prime example, I had debt before I started AirWorks. I was okay with it. I was like, forget it. I just won't answer the phone numbers that call, I don't know, call. You know what I mean? And I was perfectly content. It wasn't until I got fed up that I wanted to do something about it. So when you look at, we said Latoya, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, when you look at Latoya's list of things, the next thing that I want you to do is to be very, very specific with that. So write it down. Don't think this part. Actually write it down. Or if you're, a millennial, then type it in your notes on your phone. Same purpose, right?
As an old school millennial, you need to write it out.
put it to paper. Put it somewhere where make an action when you're putting it somewhere, right? So just put it down on something that you can resort back to, look at, read, interpret, smell, feel, touch, all that stuff, right? And when you put that down, I want you to tell me, well, not me, but when I say me, I'm speaking as you, right? So I want you to tell me how you're going to fix this problem. Now, don't give me a BS answer and say, I want to be out of debt, so, I'm going to just make an extra $17,000 in 2 months and then I'm going to be finished. Like, come on, B. Like, let's, don't just give me some fantasy, science fiction stuff. I want you to tell me how you're going to solve this problem, right? Here's the math problem, right? 1 + 1 = blank. How do we get from this starting one to this finishing? Oh, actually, it would technically be 1 + x = 2. So you need to tell me what x is, okay? Now, how do you do that? So some examples would be, if you owe money, if you have debt, pull your credit report. Write down what you owe. Once you write down what you owe, call your creditors if it's in default and find out how much you can settle for, and then put that number down. So if you owe $5,000 worth of debt and you call 3 creditors and they tell you that you can get out of that for $1,750.
Can I have you detail that? People don't know how to do that.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so bookmark me because I'll go deeper, but I might get a little lost, right? Okay. So let me just kind of jump back a little bit for those that may not know. What you owe, you don't ever have to fucking pay, okay? Let's not get it twisted. You don't have to pay that shit that you owe. And let me tell you why you don't. You may be thinking, oh my God, I owe $1,000 to my credit card company. I have to pay them $1,000 because that's what I owe them. And they're wanting that money. And if they don't have that money, they're going to go out of business and they're going to charge me for it. No, the hell they're not, okay? That $1,000 that you owe, they have written that off already. They make money back on your debt. They sell your debt to other people. Like, let's not get it twisted, B. Like, this money that you owe, they already made hand over fist. They make money even when you default. They make money when you pay. They make more money when you pay. They make money even when you default, okay? So it's not noble. And I'm speaking to myself because my mother tried to tell me this when I was younger. I was like, no, I have to pay what I owe because I don't have to call and be embarrassed, blah, blah, blah. No, screw that, okay? If you owe $1,000, call your creditor on the phone and say, hey, I want to settle this amount. What's the lowest amount that I can settle for? And they'll say, okay, ma'am, sir, hold on. They'll put you on hold, and they'll come back and say, okay, your bill is $1,000, but if you pay $750, we can close this out right now today. You're ready to pay it. And then you just say, whoa, pump your brakes, B. Not paying it today. I just want to know what it was. And like they'll try to pressure you and force you into it. You don't have to do a damn thing because guess what's going to happen? It's just going to sit there as debt anyway. It ain't moving nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. Okay, but you'll know what you have to work with. And if they give you that 750 number and you say, I'm sorry, I just don't have that in my account. I mean, the most I can do is maybe 625. That's probably the most. And I say, okay, hold on. Okay, yes, we can take 630 right now. They are willing to work that down. Everything is negotiable. So know that when it comes to your debt, whether the only thing that you probably can't do that with the student loans because they're gonna hold that. Yeah, they're gonna hold that to you until you die, right? You can't even bankruptcy student loans off. But all your other debt, that's what you can do. So like when I paid my debt off, like prime example, let's take my car, right? I brought my car for like $10,000, right? This is my first car, right? My second car, but first car I brought myself, and I financed. I paid the note for 6 months, and then I just stopped paying it for like the next 4 years. Reasons, okay? I didn't always have money. I wasn't always able to pay my bills. Stuff happens, man. Like it's just real life, right? It's funny now, but like it was stressful then because like when there was a loud truck outside, I'm looking out the window to make sure my stuff ain't getting towed. But I ended up settling maybe like $5,000, $6,000 on that car. You know what I mean? And like everything was gravy. And on my credit report, it just says, paid in full. So I didn't pay that whole 10. You know what I mean? I paid less than that. And they were cool with it, okay? So just know that there's power in that. And it's good and I'm happy that you asked for me to elaborate on that because, that can be really intimidating when you're like, I just don't have $10,000. You know what I mean? And it's just like, let's say you have 4,000, you're like, that's not even going to fix the problem, so I might as well just ignore it. You know what I mean? So just know that everything is negotiable with that. So once you pull your credit report, once you find out, what it is you owe, calling folks up. If you want to do a payment plan, you can do like a monthly payment plan, right? So if you owe $10,000 and they say you can pay them, $100 a month to, for the next however many months to finish that off, then put that number down when you're writing out what it is that you want. Okay. That's how I started paying my debt off. Like, let's not get it twisted. Like, I paid my debt off in the first 90 days that I joined this business, but legit, I was probably spending like $300 a month before then. It was like $50 to this person, $100 to this person, $25 to that person every single month to just try to start working into those numbers.
So let's talk about that, right? So I'm going to give a quick example. I hope Corey holds bookmarks this because I want to integrate this in before it's not relevant. So I have a girl that's a sideline sister that calls me her godmother, and she inboxed me and she said, I'm stuck in my business right now. And I said, well, tell me about that. Like, why are you stuck? And she's like, I really need to be triple diamond tomorrow. Right. And I was like, well, what does triple diamond mean to you? She said, well, I need $10,000. And I said, okay, all right, well, what do you need $10,000 for? She said, well, I have $10,000 worth of debt, worth of credit card debt, medical bill debt, all kinds of stuff. I said, well, first, you're worth being triple. You're worth being more than triple diamond. I never want you to think or believe that you had that, that limit. But you don't need to be triple diamond to meet that goal. You just need $10,000, correct? She said, yes, but I don't know how else to get there. And I see your comment, Lily, so I'm going to come back to you. We're not going to forget that. So I said, well, what is your debt? And she was like, well, I just know I have $10,000 worth of debt. So just like Corey's telling you guys, I had her go back and pull every single bill that she owed. Let me know. Tell me everything from, unpaid credit cards to light bills that are in default or whatever, things you didn't pay when you were 18. Let me know everything that you have so we can talk about it and write it from lowest to largest bill. So her lowest bill was $200. And I said, okay, awesome. Well, let's start working on your debt today. You have put your debt off because you didn't have $10,000. You didn't need $10,000 to make a difference in your situation. You just needed to start. So I said, how much was your last commission check? She said, my last commission check was $150. I said, awesome. What we're going to do is we're going to start to celebrate every single accomplishment along the way. So when you have $100 left in that commission check, it was like the 17th, right? Yes, I do. I haven't spent it yet. I want you to take $100 out of that commission check and pay half of that first bill you told me about. And I want you to write an amazing status about it when you finish. And she did that. She paid off half. So now that the 200 went down to 100, and she wrote a status about it. And guess what happened, y'all? Her business started to grow. Her business was stuck because she thought that she couldn't make any progress at all because she kept looking at this huge number, this $10,000 that she needed to get out of debt. When she broke it down into the actual bills, because we do that, we're like, oh my gosh, it's too big. She broke it down into every single bill she had, and she started to be grateful and celebrate every step of the way. So that grateful concept of, I can make progress. This matters. This will work for me. And people started to inquire more about her business because she was celebrating the little things she could have been doing, but she wasn't because she was way too caught up in what she had faced. So thank you, Glow. That is huge. You would be surprised as to how many small things that you have accomplished that you're not sharing because it's not triple diamond, because it's not $10,000. That's going to make a huge difference to your followers, to your friends, the potential distributors, even inspiring customers. Customers want to be part of something that's important. They don't want to join someone who has no passion, no goals, no accomplishments. They do want to be part of a thriving business. So showing that can make a really big difference. So bookmarking that, giving it back to Corey for a second, and I'm going to come back to y'all comments.
Okay. So, yes. All right. So, yeah, the small things are amazing. And don't forget that, y'all. Like, small things make the world go around. It's not so much about, like mostly all of you on this call are ladies, right? So like, what's more important? Like, your man buying you a car on some random day of the year and forgetting your birthday, or him remembering your birthday and sending you, or having roses waiting for you before you get home, or sending them to your job with a letter and then like taking you to dinner when you get home. The small things matter. You know what I mean? Yeah, the big thing might be nice, but spending time is more valuable than spending money. So those small things matter when you're posting about small accomplishments that you have. The other really important thing is it creates a psychological effect on yourself, to where if you can knock out, that lady had, a small $150 bill. If she can knock out that $150 bill, that's a check mark, right? It's something we tell you in the business when it comes to charting and promoting. Fall in love with the check mark. Get that 400 box completed first before you move on to the next person and trying to help them get up to 400. It gives you momentum, right? I am training to run a 5K, right? So I'm using a training app on my phone. It's just a running app, but they have like a little curriculum, right? So I don't go out and try to run a 5K just tomorrow. No, I have daily small increments that I do. Maybe a 1 mile walk, and then maybe a 2 mile run, then maybe a 1.5 mile walk. It's those little tiny increments that get me up to what that goal is. And by the time, like where I am now on week 2, I feel freaking great. Right? Like I'm ready to go. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's go time, but I have to build those small victories first to start that snowball and that compounding effect. Okay. So that's the first thing first with your debt, right? So once you figure out what that amount that you can settle, I'm just recapping. Once you figure out what that amount is that you can settle for, write that amount down, do like Tree said, list it from smallest to highest. Okay. And then you start working your way down from there. So that takes care of what it is that you want. If it's something like, you want to have a date night, well, then, write down where you would like to go. Like visualize your life, like see what it is that you want, right? Visualize that, understand it, go from there. The fireworks started. Yeah. If y'all hear some bang, 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 it ain't gunshots, it's just fireworks, okay?
We have to use that disclaimer.
Yeah, we in the nice part of Baltimore. If you go to the other part of Baltimore, you may not know which one it is.
Take cover.
Yeah, just get cover and stay behind something steel or metal, so that way you don't get no ricochets. Okay. What was I talking about?
You were talking about debt, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you covered that. So I'm going to give you another example of people are looking to accomplish. So a lot of you guys, I'm not sure if you kind of took a look after you posted, a lot of you guys are looking to do a lot of the same things. So I'm gonna combine the goal of getting a new house, which I saw a lot of you guys. The question for you was if money wasn't an issue, basically, what would they do? One thing they would do before the year ended.
Okay.
So a lot of people mentioned a new home, either moving out of mom's house or into a larger home. And a lot of people mentioned a new car.
Mm-hmm.
So we can combine those both as a goal, right? Because, you may have that goal and you may not need to be promote 17 times to get to that goal. But because you didn't promote, and we probably are a little bit, for example, like our video got weird. Can y'all hear us? Is that better? You never know.
I just push through it. If it fades, it'll come back. We home, Wi-Fi, so we should be straight.
Well, hopefully you guys can hear. Thank you, Kira. So the same thing would go for the house and car, right? So how can they goal set around getting a new home before the year ends? Around getting a new car? What kind of things can they do to do that? Okay, so
let me let you in on a little secret, right? So we live in Baltimore, right? We live in a northeastern state. Technically we're in the South, but you get what I'm saying. We live in the northeastern mid-Atlantic region of America. It is quite expensive. The cost of living here is pretty high. So to put it in perspective, a 2-bedroom apartment is probably $1,500. You know what I mean? And some of you that are on this call may live in a place where, a 4-bedroom house is $800 a month with a mortgage. You know what I mean? Now, what I have noticed is the cost difference between living in the hood and living in a decent community is not that high. So I'll give you a personal example. Growing up, we didn't always have a lot of money growing up, but we always lived in nice neighborhoods, right? So, we would not have cable. When we did have cable, we would, record shows on the VHS tapes and like stockpile them because we knew the cable would be cut off at some point, so we could have something to watch when we didn't have cable. I remember one year I got a house phone cut on as my birthday present. Our lights would be cut off. Like, I've gotten ready for school, taking cold showers and using flashlights and stuff, right? But we always lived in nice places. And that's one thing that is probably one of the greatest things my mother ever did for me, right? Because what that allowed for me to do is it changed the schools that I went to. It changed to get back to old school, yeah, man. It changed the schools that I went to. It changed the friends that I had. It changed the environment that I was in, right? A lot of the times, when you see folks in the inner cities or in low-income housing and things like that, these people that may be doing things that aren't the best don't want to do those things, but they are not provided a better option, right? And I'm not going to go too deep into that, but that's what it boils down to, right? Like you are, a combination of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So who do you surround yourself with, right? If you're growing up, school is pretty much your only social network, right? I mean, kids got social media now, but that's where you learn your friends and, all this other stuff. You spend 10 hours of your day there. And then your neighborhood, right? So living in a nicer neighborhood puts you around nicer things, right? So with that being said, if you look at it, and even this probably even applies in your town, it's only like a $200 to $300 difference between living in the hood and living in the county, right? Like living in Baltimore City, living in the county. It's like a $200 or $300 swing, right? So I would look at it from the perspective of, listen, I didn't get my first pair of J's until like 9th grade, right? I wore $29.99 shoe warehouse shoes, right? But I had friends who lived in the city, and no knock on them at all, right? They lived in the city, but they had the expensive tennis shoes. What the hell is 2 pairs of shoes a month to remove you from, violence in your neighborhood to living in the county where you got to worry about deers coming out at night? You know what I mean? Think about that. It's literally that small of a difference, right? Think about the impact that makes on your things. Prime example, the Goodwill where I live at is a lot better than the Goodwill in other places, right? Because the people have a little bit more money, so the stuff there is a little bit better. So even if you live in a place that is a little bit above what you're comfortable paying, but you're willing to make that sacrifice because you want to live in a better neighborhood, and even if you go to the Goodwill to buy your furniture, you're going to get better quality stuff because that pool that you're in is of a higher quality, okay? So think about that. So with the car, with the house, and find out, create a budget, find out in that budget where you can cut things at, right? You don't need cable, okay? Straight up, you don't need that, okay? You can go to the library and rent TV shows. You know what I mean? You can get your mom or your cousin's Netflix password. I mean, you probably need internet, but you do not need cable, and you got a cell phone, you're on your house phone. Cut that bill right there. There's a lot of little small things like that. Going out to eat, that gets expensive real quick. You can cook at home. You know what I mean? Just little things like that. And they don't always sound fun, and they're not always the most attractive things, but that can be the difference. Share a Netflix account. Netflix literally said they want you to share accounts. You can put 5 people on it. You know what I mean? Don't buy music. People don't buy music, but Spotify, Apple Music have, you buy a family plan, you get 6 people on it. Share that with your people. And that comes to another thing, as the community that you are, the individuals that you are, the community that we have with each other by having this business in common, share information with each other, right? The one thing that irks me, and I'll get back to what I was saying, the one thing that irks me is I wrapped the mother and daughter here about a week ago. I wrapped the mother and daughter here about a week ago, and they said to me, I'm not going to tell nobody I got this and I got good results because I don't want them to know my secret. That's stupid. You know what I mean? That's a poor mindset. Share what you have. Share the information. Share the knowledge. Share that stuff, right? I think you were talking to me about it. Oh, I don't think it was you, right? When they were talking about, you were reading something like that. And they were like, how much do you make at this job? And people were just to kind of sum it up, let's say 2 people, 2 associates, right? One has a job and one's applying for that job. And the person that's applying wants to know how much does the person that works there make per year. And they're like, I don't want to tell that.
No, it was in a department.
In a department.
So we both work here. How much are they paying you?
Yep.
And, to summarize it real quick, but the girl was offended. She was like, how dare you ask me how much I make? That's none of your business, XYZ. But that's a poverty mindset. Mind your business. This is mine. I have to hoard it. It's dangerous for me to share, right? But a wealthy mindset is, I would love to know how much you're making. It works in the presidential and above groups that we're in. We talk about all the time. We know exactly how much, like from top 150 to number one, we know exactly who's making what for the most part. Why? Because a wealthy mindset, that's not threatening. It's inspiring. Or in our business, because we can control our income, but if we worked a 9 to 5, I would want to know how much Corey was making if we're doing the exact same job. So I could either negotiate a higher pay or move on.
Yeah. So you don't get screwed over. You know what I mean? Like, help that fellow man out, because here's the deal. If we work in the same department, right? And let's say I'm making a little bit more than you, and I tell you, you go back to renegotiate and you make, as much as I do, or maybe a little bit higher. That means when it's time for me, I can push that bar back up again. An example, NBA free agency is happening right now, right? Mike Conley got the richest contract in the NBA, like, $153 million, right? You best believe when Bron contract come back up, he's getting $200 million. So it's gonna be like a ladder step. It continues to push everybody up. Disha, as far as sports goes, here's another little nugget. You can get something like Sling TV. It's like $20 a month, and they have ESPN. They broadcast live games. As far as like ABC, the basketball comes on over the weekend. You can get an over-the-air antenna for that. And as far as TNT sports, like basketball comes on during the week, go to a sports bar, buy a cocktail or beer, sit there and watch the game. Boom, done. So there's little minute things like that you can do that will really make or break that budget. Or what you can do is just have full-fledged cable during the season and then cut that joint off when they come in. That ain't a damn thing on TV right now. No football, no basketball. There's baseball on, but I don't even watch that. There's no sports on right now. Maybe until the Olympics come up. But you're right, we did do that. So those are little things that you can do that can make a world of difference in that budget. Okay, good and bad habits. Yep. So that's that.
It's my turn.
Yeah, just okay. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
So we left off with the let me just touch on the car thing really quick.
Okay.
Reliable transportation is a lot better than flashy transportation. So for an example, like, you can get yourself a little budget car, like Ford Fiesta. If anyone's got a Ford Fiesta, no shade thrown here, but like, take it from someone who had a car that broke down in a freaking tunnel to when I brought my Jeep to when we brought the Beamer. Having a reliable car is a world of difference. There's no maintenance on that BMW. So yeah, it's a flashy car, but there's no maintenance on it. Like if I bust a tire off, they fix it, right? When I got my Jeep, I had a 2-year warranty on it. I did no major maintenance on it besides oil changes for at least the first 2 years. Until you had that little issue with the key thing. So having a budget car with no maintenance, like you can get a brand new car, brand new 2016 car, this like a base model, like a real basic model. And that car will be better for you in the long term than if you had, a 2009 Mercedes. You know what I mean? Like, let's not get it twisted. Screw the image, right? Because the maintenance on foreign cars is higher. The maintenance on luxury cars is higher. Get yourself a brand new car that's fully covered, it's fully insured. With the dealer will fix everything for you, and that will save you money because, something that can screw your whole budget is if your car breaks down, because you need your car to go to work, you need your car to survive, and if that breaks down, you got to pay that. So just kind of be mindful of that when it comes to like a new car. All right, good.
So we're going to transition because I wanted Corey to give you guys mindset, right? These are things that we lived by before we had the money. So God kind of gave us the mindset of how to manage money, manage finances, be able to make good decisions before we had money. You have to learn how to be a good steward. So that's
this ain't by accident, yo.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean?
not at all.
Not to cut you off, but like legit. Let's just say, right? Let's just take the average pays, right? So presidentials are 16,000 average, right? So 16 and 16 is 32,000. So let's just say on average we make $32,000 a month. Your ass can be dead broke with no money, making $32K a month. The same way you can be broke making $3,000 a month. Okay, so those habits start before you make the money. So listen to what she's saying. That stuff happens beforehand. And the other thing is this, right? Like we live in a pretty nice house in a nice neighborhood. it's not like no Super Bowl and stuff. Like, it's literally just kind of average, maybe a smidget above average, but just average, right? We could go and go get, a $1 million plus home tomorrow, right? But we don't do that. And the reason we don't do that is because it is something that you mentioned to me a long time when we started our relationship that I always remember, because I'm like, damn, like, I like that. And like, that is how I feel. I value comfort, right, over material things. So being comfortable in knowing that if I have a great month and make a lot of money, or if I have a slower month and make less money, I know that I'm paying my bills because I'm not living up above and of to my means. I'm living beneath my means. You know what I mean? Value the comfort. You know what I mean? So if that means you have to take, a lesser apartment for a year so you can save up and buy a house, then do that. You know what I mean? But don't go buy a fancy apartment and just be stuck there and worrying and stressing yourself about how to pay your bills every damn month, okay? So fall in love with that comfort mindset.
So that's the first point that we wanted to express and give you examples. So hopefully this was helpful for those of y'all who are watching. You learned something, but you have to learn how to be a good steward. So before we even recommend how do you go after your dreams, you got to know how to maintain it. Whether it's a promotion, an income, a material thing, whatever you want. So we looked at what you are excited about accomplishing. So now that we know what that is, how, first and foremost, have healthy habits. Start them now, because we can teach you how to get these things, and you'll lose them in a month or two because you didn't know how to manage what it was that you prayed for, right? So number 2, in terms of how do you create? So we want to get clear. We want to get focused. How do we accomplish what we said we want to? Number 2 is making a decision. Make a decision. If you want this, it's really easy when I ask people, what do you want? But they tend to hesitate when I ask them, how do you get it? They tend to hesitate when I ask what they have to sacrifice to make it happen. Those are the things I want you to understand. So what I want you guys to do for me, you told me what it was that you're excited to accomplish, what your goals are. What do you have to sacrifice in order to make that happen? So go ahead for me in the comments. Let me know what do you have to do and what do you have to sacrifice. So we're going to talk through that. I'm going to let you guys comment there as you are thinking through that. But that's the second step, understanding that. Number 3, hey, Corey, he's looking at me. Number 3 is going to be, again, how do you set goals? So a lot of people, again, it's really easy to be able to tell me what it is that you want to accomplish, but do you know how? Do you know what the steps are to get there? So I actually have a couple tips for y'all. Let me pull this back up. Prayerfully, we keep this phone on and it doesn't cut off on us.
Is there any bricks down here?
No, they're probably upstairs.
Okay.
So what happened, I love it. So many people feel like they're adrift in their world, right? They feel like they work really, really hard, but they don't really feel like they get anywhere. So a lot of y'all may feel that way. You may be at that point right now where you feel like, you know what, Patrice, like, I feel like I worked really hard this year and I don't feel like I made the progress I want to make. And that's why we're here tonight. We want to get clear about what we want. You only really truly get what you want when it comes to you understanding what it is that you need, right? So a key reason why you may feel this way is because you may not have spent enough time thinking about what it is that you really truly want. You can't get anywhere without knowing your destination. So we want to set goals. And the reason why we wanted to do this tonight was because we have the opportunity right now to write a check. You can decide however much you want It Works to pay you. They really had no limits here. There's someone right now earning $200,000 a month. You can earn as much as you want. There's no shortage. The only difference between them and you is them being clear about what they want. So we want to set goals, and we want to understand that every goal is valuable, right? So sometimes what happens is, blessings will come see us in the A. And I'm reading your things as they come in here. This is good. So what happens, y'all, is that we set really big goals. We have a dream, but we don't know how to get from point A to point B. And we start to work our business. We start to make progress. And when there's a drawback, when there's a setback, when there's something that happens that we didn't plan for, we get upset and throw the towel in because there's still a really big gap between what we want and where we are in our minds. And we just throw it, just like, well, whatever. It's not even a big deal if I do today or tomorrow. So I used the example of hunger when I was talking this out with Corey. When you're hungry, and at work, you so like, all over the place when it comes to business, but really think about it. If you are hungry right this minute, my words may not have more importance than you figuring out what you're going to eat. You may be like, you know what, I'm on East Coast, it's 9:41. For us here where we live, the restaurants and stuff close at 10 o'clock. So we were really truly hungry and there was nothing in the fridge and we had to leave and go hunt for food. It would get really hard to do in about 20 minutes. So hunger, right? When you're hungry, you decide this is exactly what I'm going to do right now. Everything else takes a back seat to that meal. But if I ask you what you're going to eat for lunch on Friday, most of y'all may not know. Why? Because you're not there yet. It's so far in advance. Yes, it's a need. Yes, you want to eat on Friday, right? You're excited. It's a goal for you to eat lunch on Friday, but it feels so far away. It's not close enough to really understand and think through how you're going to have lunch on Friday until Monday morning after breakfast, and it becomes super urgent. Got it? So we really want to think about that.
And that's poverty too. So for an example, I was reading Tony Robbins' book. He was talking about that with saving, right? Everyone knows you need to save money, right? Everyone knows that, it's good to have a savings for when you get to retirement age, but it's so easy to say, well, I'm not there yet, and it's so far away, so I'm not going to save this check, maybe next check, and then the next check becomes the next check, and the next check becomes 2 checks after that. So that's a poverty mindset, to not know, listen, you don't have to know exactly, I'm going to have this turkey bacon sandwich with, cheese at precisely 10:41 a.m. on Friday, but you need to have a plan for where you're going and how to get there.
Especially if you're dieting, right? So let's talk about that. If you're dieting, you want to know on Friday I'm going to have a meal prep. Maybe I do know what I'm going to eat on Friday because I planned ahead. So that's planning for success. Okay, here we go. So you have a big picture right now. You all have something that you want to accomplish before the year ends. Hold true to that. Understand you can do it. You're worth that. You're going to have that. We're going to make a decision right now together that you're going to have that. But what I need you guys to learn how to do is how to set smaller goals to lead up to that bigger goal. So if your goal is to buy a new car, what car do you want? What color? Are you going to get it from a CarMax, the dealership, the auction, a Craigslist? How are you going to get this car? Write that out. How much is this car going to cost? How much money do you have right now to go towards that car? If it's zero, that's cool. Write that down. Let's acknowledge that. And let's start to formulate a plan. So how much was your last commission check? Can we double that? If we double that commission check, or how close are we going to be able to get towards that car? If you're not prepared to double that because it's going to require a sacrifice to double that, that's cool. Let's admit that. But let's decide this is the work that I can put in right now towards my goal. And this month, my goal, if I want to have a new car before December 2016, I know that every month I have to divide how many months we have left. So we're July, so 5 months left, right? So divide however much you need to get that car. Hey, we got a car choice right there. Divide that by 5. Decide that December is going to be your date. How much money do you need every month to be able to get towards that goal? Okay, awesome. What do you got to do in your business now to get to that goal? So a good rule of thumb, and we're going to go through this later on in the week, but going Ruby will increase your check on average about $500. So if you're not yet Ruby and you're watching this, you really want to make sure you understand the importance. When we keep talking about Ruby, it's because, like Corey said, being Ruby may mean the difference between you moving and not moving. Ruby may mean the difference between you getting a car and not getting a car. So that's going to be a huge goal for you. And we talk about that. We talk about steps to success, getting your 3 distributors, your 4 loyal customers every month, and being able to teach that concept to others. But Ruby, once you go Ruby, each time, if you look at the comp plan, look at the different numbers that you earn on average each month per ranking, generally you can build your check by about $500 on average more each time you help someone else go Ruby. So it's not even just a thing about you now. Once you go Ruby or you're close to Ruby, each time you really dedicate yourself to helping another family do what you're telling us you need today, finding purpose in that, you have a vehicle to help another family who really needs this right now. That's huge. Yes, Glow, she's got her own place. That's amazing. So somebody else, Glow, it really wants to have their own place. I actually read that in our thread today. A lot of y'all are ready to get out of somebody else's space, mom space, roommate space, and have your own, or be somewhere where you're proud to call home. So maybe $500 will do that for you, but it will also do that for your neighbor, for that girl at the grocery store, for that person you're scared to blitz, for that social media friend you're scared to follow back up with. Each time that you're scared, you're keeping this blessing from somebody. Just because they don't say yes right away does not mean this blessing is not meant for them, and it's not still your responsibility to share it with them. So those are the things that drive me each day. So now I've gone Ruby, right? I've already done that. My goal is to help someone else go Ruby. So now that, because I went Ruby and I kept going, Glow went Ruby, right? And Glow just moved out. That's important. That's what keeps me going. So now that Glow went Ruby, we got to help her help someone else go Ruby, because they're going to make their dreams come true. And I got to help somebody different go Ruby so we can start that chain effect from there. That's what keeps you here. That's what keeps your fuel going. So of course you always will have your goals, but what are you going to do to help someone else reach theirs? That's when the fulfillment comes in. That's when you don't quit, because you know someone else needs you. Someone else needs that blessing that you just got. So we want to set SMART goals, right? So we talk about that all the time in our household, but if you don't know how to set a SMART goal, I'll post what SMART goal means. I'm going to try to keep this under an hour so we can get you guys out of here. But we want to do a couple different specific things to make sure you're accomplishing your goals. So you can start today is the message that I want to leave you guys with. You can start today. You don't have to wait until you go diamond to start reaching your goals. You don't have to wait until you promote to triple to start paying off your debt. You can do that today. So we want to have a plan. What if you earned $200 more in your commission check between last month and this month? You can start to work towards your dreams today. That can be money towards a down payment on your home. That can be money towards that car that you guys want. Some of you guys wanted to, take a vacation, I saw. Some of you guys wanted to put money in a savings account. Whatever that is, I want you guys to be able to measure that, to be appreciative of that, and really start to share that. Maybe last month you did something like that. Pay rent. That's huge, right? So even if you do half of that, and yes, that's a good point. Struggling being duplicatable. So what we're going to teach you guys just at this moment, it's a good timing, is things that you can do to teach your team. Because when you get stuck in the, I'm not X rank yet, I'm not earning X amount of money yet, I'm not valuable enough to post about my lifestyle, my experiences, I don't have a story yet. When you keep telling yourself that, you're holding yourself back from enrolling new distributors. You're not helping people dream because you stopped dreaming. Right? So you have to learn how to dream along the way. When I started It Works, I didn't have a dream of any of this. I would have laughed at you if you told me this was going to happen to us, for us. I just wanted to buy Chinese food. I just wanted to pay my student loans. And each time I did that, you saw the excitement in my posts because I did that. So even when I paid half of a bill, I talked about that. So if you paid half of your phone bill, there's somebody whose phone's cut off right now because they didn't have the other half, right? So understanding how important that is. So your vision is directly tied to who will follow you. So when you lose clarity, when you lose focus, your business starts to decline. People aren't able to follow you because where are you going? And you are making progress, you are moving forward, but you're not able to articulate or identify where that is. So Yami, people are asking her how to stay disciplined and focus on daily goals. You got to make it personal. You got to make it, what's the word that we learned earlier? Not intentional. You got to make it, it'll come back to me, I promise. But basically, they want to incorporate who they are into their business, Yami. When you run a business, authentic is the word. Inauthentically, you're just doing tasks and you don't see the value in what you're doing. You don't have you don't feel like you're like personally in this. It's like, Yami, you're super personally driven in this business to change lives. So each day you wake up and you work your business because you know someone is directly impacted by when you post that status, by when you follow back up with that person, when you check on that distributor. You know that you make an impact by what you do. You're driven by that. I want you to learn how to teach that. Teach the people also want to have that same passion that you have. You can teach the skills the day to day, but you definitely want to make sure that at the end of the day, you're able to share the why, and you do a really good job talking about that, but that's what's missing. If you have a hard time staying focused on daily goals, it may be because you feel removed from what you're doing. You're just doing work. You're just working, but you shouldn't feel like you're working here. You should be directly tied into what it is that your bigger vision, right? So vision is the answer to that. We've worked really hard to be here. We've been working really, really hard to be here. But if you ask me if I worked harder at my government job or worked harder here, it would be hard to tell. And I earned way less working for the government, but I didn't enjoy the tasks that I was doing. I was just doing it to do it. Whereas here, I may have invested way more hours, way more time, etc. But I truly felt the purpose and the value in what I was doing. And at that point, I was growing a business in the process. So that is huge. Tiffany, most of us never started a business before. So most of us are brand new to having a business, to starting a business. So we don't want to get you caught up in that for you or for someone on your team. Having them understand, asking them the same question I'm asking you. What are your goals? What do you want to accomplish? Let's talk about that. What are your physical goals? How can we use the products? In our house, any given place in this house that we're in, you're going to see a bunch of stuff and this greens container is empty. Like, we use the product. So that really helps us as distributors be able to share with people what it is that we're doing. Yep, so Ashley kind of covered that. Let me see here. Before I get too off track here. Oh, your goals. So what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to take a look at your goal. I want you to really write that out for me. Write out, I told you guys, bring some paper if you're fancy. Write out, for that one goal you gave me that you would love to accomplish before 2016 if money was not an issue, how much would it cost to get a new car? How much would it cost for you to move right now? How much would it cost for you to start to get out of debt, to pay off 2 out of the many debts that you have even? Choose a number. And after that, can we start to pay that down? Can we start to put down payment money on that with your It Works cash from wrapping people, with your party cash, with your commissions, your bonuses? Can we accomplish that? And can we start to celebrate the journey? A lot of y'all stopped celebrating the journey. You started getting caught up in what you didn't have, what you didn't do yet, and you got lost, you got fuzzy because you forgot how important your journey is. So when you get halfway to that goal that you just told me about, when you made progress towards paying off some debt, the world should know, not just because of your business, because of your soul. Like, you gotta feel like you're working towards something, and what you're doing is important regardless of where you are in that journey. So that is what I have tonight. I'm gonna scroll up here because I know I had a question from Lily, so I'm going to come back to that. So Lily, you work your business in a lot of fear. And I love that. Lily's a triple diamond, but she still works her business in fear. What I want you to understand and what I want you to focus on in this season is that you have full control. There is no such thing as a slow season hitting you. Nothing can happen to you in this business. Every month you have full control. You can go presidential and ambassador anytime. We actually watched it happen. Alina promoted to presidential in September. Typically we're crying, oh, it's slow season in September. It doesn't have to be. So you can decide what your season looks like today by your own mindset. So you're not defeated. You're powerful. You can make this happen. So you don't have to work out of fear. You don't want to be scared of anything. You are really good at this business. So decide, hey, I'm going to win all year. I'm going to build my check all year. But if you're not growing in the summer, fall, winter in this business, it's because your mind has decided that you're not going to, but you can. So that's the first thing I want to give you there. and what you want to do in terms of growing, you know how to grow. So you're asking me stuff here that you know the answer to. Every single one of you guys know how to win in this business. Every single one of y'all. Y'all know exactly what to do. You know how to go diamond, Lily. You did it 3 times. So you can do it again. So there's nothing new that I can give you to say, this is what's going to be magical this time around. Here's a brand new tip and trick. We'll give you guys, of course, along our journey, we share with you what we learn and how we are adapting in our creativity, right? We're creative. So each year presents a new creative challenge to us. This year we have Facebook. So we just learned that Facebook algorithms are changing. You can no longer copy and paste now. Right? So a lot of y'all have gotten really comfortable building your business just copy and pasting. You can do it here and there, but Facebook's not going to show those copy and paste statuses to your friends anymore. So you're going to lose business because people aren't going to be exposed to your status based off of Facebook saying, oh, that was posted already. We don't need to show that to anyone new. So we do want to make sure we're cognizant of that. So things are going to change every year, but the process is the same. But what may differ is your confidence and your faith. And those are 2 things that I want you to work on before as you're having your baby, as you're working towards those goals. You don't want to let fear decide or dictate your actions here or what you're capable of or what you're going to give your daughter. Both of y'all are worth more than that, right? So we want to work around that. So let me see here. And yeah, so you can go. This is it. It's all you. You got it. You can do it. You know, I built 2 double diamonds this year by myself. You can do it. There's nothing that you, like when you decided that you wanted to promote to double and triple, Lily, you just did it. You just absolutely did it. Same thing for every one of y'all. When y'all, if you promoted already, it's because you decided you were going to. Nothing could stop you. So when you decide you can do it, you can either tell God how big your mountain is, you can tell the mountain how big your God is. And if this is a vision for you before your daughter comes, before your life changes, then you can do that. But you know exactly what to do. You know how to get it done. All of you guys do, right? All of you guys do. So Ashley mentioned that. It's a good point. We've been working on that, right, Ashley? About, you know, how to coach people to be successful. You can only inspire. We just got off the top 100 call earlier today with Pam, Mike, and Mark. And that's exactly what Pam said. She said, people keep asking me, how do I motivate my team? And she keeps telling us, you can. You can inspire them through your actions. Right? So you can't make people do what they want to do. However, what you cannot do is enroll 3 distributors and be like, oh, I'm done my steps to success for the life in this business. I'm all done. These 3 people have to work. You have to get good at enrolling new distributors. You have to get good at enrolling new customers. That's going to be your role. We can't control what people do, but we can control what we do. And our success, Time Hop popped up for us maybe a couple of days, maybe a week ago now. And it showed that the person that went diamond, I don't even remember. She quit so long ago that a person went diamond, and I don't even remember who she was. Her name wasn't in the thing. I'm like, I don't even know this girl's name. So people, no matter what rank you are, we all go through the same thing. People who quit, people who slow down. You know, I've had diamonds quit. It's not a big deal. The same thing that you guys experience every day, we do too. But the only difference between us and between someone else who's not as successful as they want to be right now is how much did that slow them down? How much did they assume it was their fault? How much did they assume they could not reach their dreams because they happened? That's the biggest difference right there. So that's it. You have to keep going, you know, and y'all may have said it best. If you keep focusing on what is not happening for you, not much else will happen. But if you do focus on what's amazing for you, so when you talk about why you aren't where you want to be right now, that list, if you keep saying, well, this person quit and this person isn't working and this person won't do that, there's no one who has the power to decide and dictate the quality and success of your business but you. That's all you. At any given time, you can stand up and say, I'm going to keep going. So your job is to just enroll 1 more. That's it. If someone quit today, that's all right. Enroll one more. If someone didn't enroll today and they said they would, that's okay. Go talk to one more person. That's how this business works. We are continuously building and rebuilding, like Ashley said earlier. That's what network marketing is. It's never a retirement plan. It's always an ongoing thing. So even where we are, you think that we can just sit and chill. We don't get to do that. We don't. If we sit and chill, we lose our home. We lose our car. So we are in the same position that you guys are in, because we have to continue to build and rebuild. It's not good enough to say, well, we built in 2013, we're good now. It's not. It's not. What we did in 2013 barely matters today. It plays a big role in residual, but not in our promotion. So that's it. Yami gave really good advice there. But it's all mentality. Nothing's physically keeping you guys from what you want. But you have to get clear about what you want. You have to be able to let go of who's not here with you, and understand that if you did it before, you can do it again. Decide to do it again. So that's it. Like Stephanie said, if you want it, go get it. There's no need to be discouraged. It's part of the business. It's not a reflection on you if people aren't here or whatever the case is. The question from me to you is, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? So I'm going to let you close it off. Anything else that you want
to? Two things. Three things. One, way to go. It was awesome.
Whoo!
That's not inspiring. Like pow would have been better, but not.
Nope. Okay. Well.
All right. So she did great. So kudos to her. That's my wife. Yeah, twisting right there. All right. Divorce the story and marry the truth. Divorce the story and marry the truth. Okay? You're telling yourself a story right now because it makes you feel comfortable. Divorce that and marry the truth. The sooner you marry the truth, the farther you will go and the faster that you will go. The other thing is you are in complete control, and Therese mentioned this. You're in complete control of yourself and your business. And be real with yourself when you're divorcing the story and marrying the truth. You want to be real with yourself, because if you're not where you want to be, or you're not moving as fast as you want to, what are you doing to affect that and to change that? And you may say, I'm doing everything, but if you put it down on paper, or if you divorce the story and marry the truth, you may realize that it's not your business that is slow. It's you that is slow, right? There are people that businesses is booming right now. There are people that are complaining that their businesses are stagnant. There are people complaining that their businesses are slow, and there are people cheering that their businesses are like out of this world, like taking off like a rocket. What's the difference there? The individual. The company is the same. The products are the same. The potential customers are the same. It's just the person. So just be mindful of that. One of the things that I always love is that if you work this business, you will make money. No matter if you start today, or you start 2 years from now, or you started 5 years ago, if you work this business, you will make money. That is true. You can write that in law. It's like the law of gravity, okay? If you work this business, you will make money. So if you, when you're writing down your goals and you're looking at, how much money is going to cost you to be able to afford the new home, or the new apartment, or the new car, or to pay off a credit card, just know that if you work the business, money will come. So that's all that I have for you guys. This was good. I hope that you guys got something beneficial and useful out of this. I hope that we were able to inspire, enlighten, and teach. And other than that, adios.
That's it. So I'll see you guys 5 o'clock tomorrow, live at 5 once again. I'll be live every day at 5 o'clock from today through Friday. So different topics that you guys mentioned that you've been struggling with, I'll be covering those, giving you guys some tips with that. and just speaking towards that. And then we will be releasing our July contest during one of those trainings. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that, and we'll be able to ensure that you guys will meet the goals that you have set. So I hope this was helpful. We will see you all next time. I had to show my belly.
That July contest is hot, isn't it?
It's pretty hot.
That was just pretty hot, huh?
So this is the belly.
Bam.
So far, it's really stiff. So yes. Where would this recording be posted? So Corey, this is on Corey's laptop because clearly I suck at recordings. So
I'll put it on my YouTube. I'll put it up in the next 24 hours. So if you're really nice to me, I may even put it up tonight. Hey.